Harry is whipped. Do you know the expression
I'm
whipped?
familiar with the phrase.
I won't use the full expression. But Harry is whipped like no person I think I've ever seen. I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And I wasn't right from the beginning.
Said
I think
to
poor
you.
Harry is being led around by his nose, okay?
You think it's going to end?
I do. I've been a very good predictor, as you know. I predicted almost everything. It'll end, and it'll end bad. And I wonder if Harry's going to go back on his hands and knees and say, please, you know, I think Harry has been led down a path.
If you were the Queen, is it at the stage now, would you remove their royal title?
I would. The only thing I disagree with the Queen on, probably one of the only things ever, is that I think she should have said, if that's your choice, fine. But you no longer have titles, you no longer, and frankly, don't come around. He has been so disrespectful to the country, and I think he's an embarrassment.
Trump just went off on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry like never before. In typical Trump style, no filter, no holding back, just straight up brutal honesty live on TV. But guess what? The British people are standing right behind him. This isn't just another comment from Trump. He's been vocal about Meghan and Harry for years.
I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And I wasn't right from the beginning. I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And I wasn't right from the beginning.
Said
I think
to
poor
you.
Harry is being led around by his nose, okay?
You think it's going to end?
I do. It'll end, and it'll end bad.
But this time he sent shockwaves across the internet with his comments on air. He called out their behaviour and their disrespect toward the royal family, and even made a bold prediction about their future. And let's be real, many in the UK believe he's spot on. Think about it. The way Meghan and Harry have treated their families has left people furious. The way they disrespected the Queen is unforgivable, and Trump is saying what a lot of people are thinking but are too afraid to say out loud.
Yes, of course Trump is divisive. Think about just female voters alone, right? I mean, like, I think it was in 2012, like, the Republican Party lost the female vote by 12 points. That's a huge number. And with as misogynistic as Trump is and so vocal about it, that's a huge chunk of it. You're not just voting for a woman if it's Hillary just because she's a woman, but certainly because Trump has made it easy to see that you don't really want that kind of work.
So what exactly did the President of the United States say? And why is his warning about Harry's future in America making headlines everywhere? Let's get into it.
But on that point, would you want to nominate someone who in their confirmation to the appellate court received broad bipartisan support, or would you be more inclined to put forward somebody whose confirmation fell along party lines?
I can't tell you what's going to happen with the Democrats. I can say this, the person that I will be putting up, and I won't say that I've even chosen that person yet. I could say any one of the five. They're outstanding women. But the person I'll be putting up is highly qualified, totally brilliant, top of the line academic student, the highest credentials. All of them have that, but the highest credentials. And you'll see on Saturday who that is. I can't imagine why a Democrat wouldn't vote for this person. But you may be right.
Mr. President.
I'd bet on you.
Mr. President.
Probably bet on you. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
No, not you. Right here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle chimed in on the U.S. election and essentially encouraged people to vote for Joe Biden. I want to get your reaction to that.
I'm not a fan of hers. And I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, the FDA is reportedly considering stricter guidelines for the emergency authorization of a COVID vaccine. Are you okay with that?
Well, I tell you what, we're looking at that. That has to be approved by the White House. We may or may not approve it. That sounds like a political move, because when you have Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, these great companies coming up with the vaccines, and they've done testing and everything else, I'm saying, why would they have to be, adding great length to the process.
Donald Trump just let loose on Meghan Markle like never before. No soft words, no dodging, just straight up facts, exactly how he sees them live on TV. He slammed Meghan as disrespectful, manipulative, and completely controlling over Prince Harry. And he didn't stop there. His most savage line, "Harry is whipped like no person I've ever seen," that one hit hard. Trump made it clear he thinks Harry has lost himself, blindly following Meghan without realizing the damage she's caused. He didn't sugarcoat it. He straight up said their relationship is doomed, and when it ends, it'll end badly. And here's the thing, the British people agree with him. They've watched Meghan and Harry walk away from royal duties, trash their own family in interviews, and turn their backs on the monarchy. Many people in the UK believe Meghan has completely changed Harry, pulling him away from everything he once stood for.
Harry and Meghan Markle chimed in on the U.S. election and essentially encouraged people to vote for Joe Biden. I want to get your reaction to that.
I'm not a fan of hers, and I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry.
So, if Trump is right, what happens next? And what does he think should be done about it? Stay with us, because it only gets wilder. Meghan Markle's treatment of the royal family isn't just bad, it's horrible and unforgivable. That's not just Trump's opinion, it's how millions of British people feel. And honestly, can you blame them? Think about what King Charles and the late Queen had to endure. Harry and Meghan turned their backs on the monarchy, aired out private family drama for the world to see, and painted the royals in the worst light possible. And for what? Attention? A Netflix deal? Trump didn't hesitate to say that the Queen, one of the most respected figures in history, was deeply hurt by their actions in the final years of her life. That alone is enough to make people furious. And in the UK, that fury is real. People see it as betrayal, plain and simple. The disrespect, the public humiliation, the complete disregard for the people who raised Harry. It's no wonder Brits are standing behind Trump. He's just saying what they've been thinking all along. But if you think that's bad, wait until you hear what Meghan did next.
Some really interesting points, and as ever, Donald Trump doesn't hold back. He tells you what he thinks. For example, I talked about the Duchess of Sussex and the fact she's almost become a political lobbyist in the USA. Here's what he had to say about that.
I'm not a fan of hers at all, and I think she's very disrespectful to the Queen that we just spoke about, who's such a great woman, who's such a great person, historic person. I think she's very disrespectful to the royal family, but maybe most importantly to the Queen.
And of course, the biggest question of all, is Donald Trump going to run in 2024? Polls at the moment showing him ahead of Joe Biden in those key swing states. And I put it to him, I mean, why on earth would you give up?
Meghan Markle didn't just disrespect the Queen, she mocked her. That infamous curtsy imitation wasn't just bad taste, it was a slap in the face to a woman who dedicated 70 years to her country. Trump didn't hold back, saying, Meghan has absolutely no class, and millions of Brits agree. But here's where it gets even worse. Meghan seems to think she can take down the monarchy. The arrogance is off the charts. Does she really believe she can destroy an institution that has stood for centuries? Trump and many others see her as nothing more than an attention seeker who overestimated her influence. And if you ask the British people, they're furious. They grew up respecting the Queen, the traditions, and the history. Seeing Meghan mock it all like a joke is unacceptable. Trump is calling her out, and the UK is right there with him. But now the question is, will anything actually be done about it? Whether you love him or hate him, Trump doesn't play games. He says exactly what's on his mind, no sugarcoating, no political double talk. And when it comes to Meghan and Harry, he's saying what lots of people agree with, but are afraid to admit.
She has been very disrespectful to the Queen, frankly, even during that time. I mean, how can you be disrespectful to the Queen? The Queen was incredible for years, for decades and decades. She never made a mistake. Think of it. With all of the people that you watch them, and you see they make lots of mistakes, if they're famous people or not famous people. But I don't know, I can never think of a mistake she made. She was never controversial. When I was with her, I tell the story, they said, who was your favorite president? Oh, they were all great. They were all great. I said, who, but did you like Ronald Reagan the best? Oh, I liked them all very much. What about Richard Nixon? Oh, I thought he was wonderful. Then I said, who was your favorite prime minister? And she said, Just fabulous people, every one of them. But wasn't it Winston Churchill? Oh, I liked him very much. And I'm saying to myself, this is...
Just a few weeks ago, met actually previously on a number of occasions with his predecessor. And there's no issue with meeting, of course there isn't.
Well, but for the Chancellor of the Exchequer?
Well, that'll be a matter for her, but there's no in principle. I mean, I myself met the President of the NFU, and I think that... Well,
Is it an example that you will be encouraging the Chancellor to follow?
Well, the Chancellor will manage her own diary, but I mean, I took the view...
Well, I mean, we're laughing here, but, we had one witness giving evidence to the Select Committee who, when talking about the impact on his farming business, broke down.
Yep.
So there are a lot of people who don't find this funny. How does it make you feel to hear that witnesses were breaking down before my Select Committee?
Well, of course nobody's comfortable with that, but that is why I took the decision to have a meeting with the President of the NFU, to invite him in for...
Compare that to politicians like Keir Starmer, who dodge tough topics to avoid backlash. Starmer and others in power tiptoe around public opinion, afraid of offending anyone. Trump, he couldn't care less, and that's exactly why so many people respect him, even those who don't agree with him on everything. He speaks the truth plain and simple, and in the UK that blunt honesty is refreshing. Many British citizens feel their leaders have gone soft too, afraid to challenge Meghan and Harry's behaviour, but not Trump. The president is calling them out, loud and clear. That's why so many Brits are siding with him over their own politicians. Now, if Trump is right about Meghan and Harry, what happens next? Let's talk about that in the next few minutes. Prince Harry might have a serious problem on his hands, and this time Meghan can't fix it. Trump just dropped a warning that could change everything for Harry's life in the US. Here is the deal. In a news outlet, Harry openly admitted to past drug use, including cocaine, magic mushrooms, and marijuana. Why is this so important? The US immigration laws require full honesty on visa applications. If he left that part out, that's a big deal. People have been denied entry or even deported for less reasons.
Now let's talk about Prince Harry, because a lawsuit to make his secret visa records public is set to have its first court hearing since Donald Trump's inauguration. The Heritage Foundation has reopened its case to have the papers released. Kinsey, tell us about this, because I understand that this is in relation to Harry's past drug use.
Absolutely. So the Heritage Foundation sued the Department of Homeland Security to force the release of Prince Harry's visa records. Did he admit to drug use, or was he given special treatment? A judge sided with DHS, and we assumed that was the end of it. But thanks to new court documents, we know that the Biden administration privately submitted secret documents to the judge before he made the decision in their favor. And now the Heritage Foundation is demanding that judgment be vacated, and not only for Harry's visa case to be re-examined, but the Heritage Foundation has submitted an application to unseal the private correspondence between Biden's DHS and the judge. So lawyers for the Heritage Foundation and the Department of Homeland Security have been ordered by the judge to meet at a federal courthouse in D.C. next Wednesday. I know you've got your popcorn ready.
Oh, we've got our popcorn ready. Cannot wait for this. Gosh, he may be deported. That would be hilarious. Now, before we let you go, Kinsey, the ex-wife of actor Kevin Costner is engaged to one of Costner's former friends.
Isn't this wild? Kevin Costner's ex, Christine, is engaged to her boyfriend of over a year, Josh Connor, who happened to be a friend of the former couple. Around their nasty divorce battle in 2023, rumors circulated that Costner suspected that Christine potentially cheated on him with Josh. So make of this new engagement what you will. That's where I'll leave it.
Wow, drama, 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 as always. Never a dull moment in the entertainment world. Kinsey Scott.
Reasons that he's ended up on. Trump is making it very clear that if Harry wasn't truthful, he wouldn't get any special treatment. No royal privilege, no celebrity pass. Harry could actually face consequences, including being forced out of the US. Think about it. Meghan pushed him to leave the UK, and now he might not even be able to stay in America. Where would he go next? And would Meghan stick around if things got tough? Meghan Markle and Donald Trump have never been on good terms. Long before she became a duchess, Meghan publicly trashed Trump, calling him misogynistic and divisive during the 2016 election. When the 2020 elections rolled around, she and Harry hinted at supporting Biden, making it clear where they stood. And you can rest assured that Trump never forgot. His famous response, "I wish Harry luck," is going to need it. A brutal one-liner says it all. Since 2020, the feud has only gotten bigger and nastier. Trump has taken every opportunity to call Meghan out, saying she's controlling, disrespectful, and bad for Harry. And unlike other politicians, he's not backing down. Every time Harry and Meghan make a move, Trump has something to say, and let's be honest, people love it. So where does this end? With Trump re-elected, will the Duchess of Sussex face even bigger problems? Or is this just the beginning of something even bigger? Let's talk about that next. Donald Trump just threw down the ultimate challenge, and it's one Meghan never saw coming. During an interview, when asked if he'd debate Meghan, Trump didn't hesitate. "I'd love to debate her. No hesitation, no doubt, just pure confidence." Now, here's the big question. Would Meghan even dare? Trump is known for dominating debates. He doesn't hold back, he interrupts, he calls people out, and he's not afraid to go personal. Meghan, on the other hand, is used to controlled interviews, where she's praised, not challenged. A real debate, that's a whole different game, and there is no telling how far Trump will be willing to go, or the secrets he can expose. For Meghan, her career has been struggling of late. The Spotify deal collapsed, her Netflix projects haven't been great, and public support isn't what it used to be for her. Could she use this debate as a comeback moment, or would it completely backfire? Either way, one thing's for sure. If this debate ever happened, it would be absolute chaos. Meanwhile, Prince Harry has an uphill task to save himself from deportation, as Trump has made it clear that there will be zero tolerance for illegal migrants in the United States. So, he could face deportation if found guilty of lying on his visa applications. And he won't get any favors from Trump. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating political content.